Welcome back to Who Catalog for the first upload of 2023. I know, it's been a long time. Now, I've taken a great leave of absence from this channel and from a couple of my other channels as I kind of reevaluate what I want out of content creation, and also because I've started uni and I just don't have time to make videos as much as I used to. Not that I have particularly a lot going on outside of uni and work. Editing videos is just a very arduous task and it's very tiring. Anyone who makes videos will understand what I mean. It looks simple, and for the most part it is, but it is a very taxing affair, and so I just haven't been able to do it as of late. I want to get back into it and hit the ground running, but with a lot of Doctor Who creators, especially around news discussion, there's been a stagnation in content. I've been absent for a while, so I can't exactly speak to the accuracy of that statement, but from what I've observed, it's been like that at least. But today, I thought I'd get back into the swing of things by discussing some new news for Series 14 of Doctor Who. I didn't want to beat a dead horse with some of the older stuff, because you've all probably heard it to death by now. Even I have, being so detached from everything and in my own little realm. But I thought that discussing the new stuff, the stuff that we've just been handed out, would be the best course of action. So today I will be discussing and reviewing two new costumes we got for both the 15th Doctor and for his companion Ruby Sunday, and the casting of Jinx Monsoon as a new villain for the Doctor in the next series. So starting off with the costume, we have been given an alternative costume for the Doctor, possibly for a 1 or 2 part story, and he's decked out all there in a blue pinstripe suit, in a blue pinstripe suit, not a soup. That's a little bit of a conundrum there. And he's looking all fancy, nice and clean. Got that 60s hairstyle going, very period accurate, and his rings, as always, there, and is part of his attire. I love that new look that the Doctor has about him, but it's just a very Tennant-esque costume. I just love it. It's simplistic yet suave and endearing, and that's what I feel like the 15th Doctor's given those vibes. He's like Capaldi and Tennant mushed into one, with just this serious weight of both goofy joviality and very stark seriousness, but also just a real gentlemanly look to him, and that's what Ncuti Gatwa goes for, I believe. In general, I'm a big fan of Ncuti Gatwa. Ruby's costume is also quite simple, but it also fits the 60s time period. It's a simple white on black sort of almost one-piece looking costume. However, it looks more like a something as segregating it with a belt, and it just looks quite simplistic. It does look a little bit too fancy, in my opinion, against the Doctor's. Apropos the time period, I may be getting ahead of myself a little bit here. It doesn't exactly look like casual dress for the 60s, but fancy party-esque clothing, yes, in sort of a more high society era. I'm saying that these costumes are for a story set in the 60s, as the captioning we've gotten on the Doctor Who Instagram posts and on Ncuti's own stories and posts is talking about the 60s, saying that that is where Ruby and the Doctor will be going. So we're assuming that that's 60s Britain, but it could be 60s America for all we know. All I'm hoping is that the Beatles are involved in one way, shape, or form, because that's something that the Doctor Who's really got to get into, you know? Also get Bob Dylan in there. Why not? Get every music icon in there. Get bloody Elvis in there next. Yes, we need it. Elton John. David Bowie. Get them all in there. Next, we have the announcement of Jinx Monsoon, an award-winning drag actor, as a new villain for Doctor Who. Now, they were given a nice panel show here, both on the story and on the post, of this sort of musical piano key, sort of checkered collar jacket thing. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not a designer. I'm not a fashion expert whatsoever. Clearly, but we have what looks like a very embellished, a very exaggerated costume. It almost seems satirical, and the general consensus on this is that we're going to be getting a musical-themed episode. Maybe a whole story set in the tone of a musical, and music being some sort of danger to the Doctor and Ruby. That would be interesting to see how they deal with that, but I think it could work. A musical could definitely be a weird way that a Doctor Who episode could function. We had some nice use of other forms of storytelling, like the found footage style approach in Sleep No More, which I heavily enjoyed, and I think that story is very underrated upon rewatching that only a couple months ago. And I think that could really serve the show well in some ways. I'm definitely interested to see how it would be handled, but I think it could be handled well. In terms of the costume in general and the implications of Jinx Monsoon's character, I'm not much of a fan right now, because it looks like this character is going to be sort of over the top and exaggerated with just the piano keys. It really doesn't fit right. I mean, it feels almost feels overdone, overcooked. I think that is just a fear that is born out of a lack of detail as the character itself, and that will come in time, but these announcements are just very hit and miss for me. They're 50-50, and I wish I could lean over a bit more to the favouring side, but only time will tell. I am excited for this, see what they can do, and yeah, I think it's well worth watching this space. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was a rather brief just breakdown of the two newest pieces of news that we have for Doctor Who, but if you enjoyed my take on it, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and just comment down below what you think of these two new tidbits of information. I will see you for the next video. This has been Who Catalog. Alonzi.